All right, hey everyone, Zach Schiffer here, and let me ask you, are you tired of your email campaigns not delivering a massive ROI for you? What if I told you you could pull in $22,000 from just 2 email campaigns, sending to a list of only 1,000 people or less, just like we did here? Or what if I told you you could make over $37,000 from 4 email campaigns without having a massive list size? Let me tell you, we've done it. It's not magic. It's actually all about the strategy. And here are the steps that we personally use to skyrocket this e-commerce brand's email campaign revenue and how you can do the same. All right, let's jump in and talk about something that's very often misunderstood, and that is frequency. So how often do you need to be sending that email? It's an important question. Send 2 little emails in the week and you're a ghost, and then send 2 mini emails during the week and you're that annoying ex that will not shut up and stop texting you. So we like to aim for between 2 to 4 email campaigns per week. That's really the sweet spot, Goldilocks zone. You can keep your brand in your subscribers' minds without becoming an absolute nuisance. So one thing I want you to remember is that rules are meant to be broken, right? Some brands are going to kill it with just 1 email per week. That's it. Or other brands can absolutely crush it sending daily emails. They can be very highly value driven and they can still go strong with that. So what I'm emphasizing here is that you need to know your audience and tweak as needed. You want to make sure that you're really taking a data-driven approach with this. So how do you do that? You really want to make sure, number one, open rates. You want to look at those, make sure those are above 30%, and you want to make sure engagement and purchase metrics are still strong as well. And you want to remember, quality over quantity, but quality plus quantity over just quality. And with my team, we really go for both. So if you're dropping absolute value nukes in those emails, you're not going to be spamming and you can send more emails. All right, next up, segmentation and frequency. The bigger your brand is and the more people that you have on your list, the more you're going to want to segment. So how do you segment? You're basically sending the same overall email, you're sending the same idea, but there's going to be various tweaks that you're sending to different segments. So basically different strokes for different folks. So you're going to, again, as I said, the base idea is going to be the same, but you're going to slightly tweak the copy and the angle in the individual emails, perhaps based on 0-time customers, 1-time customers versus 2+ time customers. The reason for this is what's going to entice someone to purchase their first time is going to be very different in the language and tonality and word choice based on what the email that you're going to want to send to your VIPs to really convince them to purchase for their 4th time, for example. So you want to tweak up that angle and the copy there. One thing I want you to remember though is that testing is essential. You don't want to just wing it. You don't want to just blast out these emails. You want to A/B test and you want to be very diligent in these A/B tests. So you really want to break out the Google Sheets, get those babies out, and really find what messaging resonates with your audience. So you're going to want to look at all the key metrics such as open rates, click-throughs, and most importantly, conversions on your conversion-focused emails to really find your brand's special sauce that's resonating with the market. Finally here, consistency is key. So you want to send your emails at the same time each week. Basically, it's like watching Sunday Night Football, for example. You want to know ahead of time when the big game is so you can prepare, you can get excited, all of that good stuff. So you want to train your audience to expect your emails at the same time each week. Typically for us, it's Tuesday and Thursday are at least the best days, and you can add some more days on top of that basically, but they'll legitimately look forward to your emails so long as they're witty, fun, exciting, and on brand. All right, moving on to the next big thing, and that is deliverability. So you've crafted this beautiful, perfect email, but what's the point if it ends up in the spam folder, never to be seen again? So we need to dive into how to make sure your emails actually get open. So first off, we're aiming for an open rate of between 30 and 40%. Anything less than you're basically sending your emails on a one-way trip to spam city. Not a good place to be. Next up, let's talk cleanliness. And no, I don't mean washing your hands. I'm talking about cleaning up your email list. Regular sweeps of the email list can actually lower your Klaviyo bill and boost those open rates. It's a win-win all around, and we do this quarterly for all our clients. It's a very easy process. You basically just go in, export a CSV of your unengaged people, and then you suppress them in Klaviyo. It's very easy. Definitely recommend doing that quarterly at least. Engagement-based sending. So you want to send first to your core audience. So those are your most highly engaged segments. And then once you got them hooked, expand your reach. So if your current deliverability is in the trash, you need to focus on subscribers who have engaged in the last 14 or 30 days. And then once everything's looking great there, you have good open rates, you have good click-through rates, good conversions, then move out to 60, 90, and 120 plus day engaged. All right, so here are some final tips for deliverability. You want to keep your emails lightweight. So you want to compress your images to make your emails light as a feather. You don't want these massive emails that are getting sent to spam all the time. So you want to add in a mix of HTML text sections and images. It wants to be, you really want to not use too many of these Klaviyo sections. So don't go in there adding a bunch of color text, Klaviyo buttons, product blocks, all these nasty things, because that makes your email super heavy and can really jack up your emails and your deliverability. Another little side tip, you want to make sure to add alt text to your images. I know it's annoying, but you got to do it. And that's it, really. Deliverability in a nutshell. It doesn't mean more opens, it means more conversions as well. It's very, very important. So you really want to make sure your emails are landing where they can actually do good and convert your customers. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of planning out your email campaigns, because let's face it, a well-executed email campaign doesn't just happen, it's orchestrated. And that starts with an organized campaign calendar and an absolute rock star team. So why do you need both of these? That's because running an 8 to 16 email campaigns per month is not just a weekend project. It's a full-blown operation that needs a game plan. And that's where your campaign calendar comes in. Basically, this is your playbook for email campaign success. And you really want to plan this ahead of time. Don't just plan for this week, look to next month and beyond. We typically like to look at least 30 days out. Basically, it's like meal prepping for your business. You want to know exactly what resources you need ahead of time so you can avoid all those last minute scrambles that nobody likes at all. And remember, your email calendar is just not going to exist in a vacuum. That means you might plan something out ahead of time and then change it down the road. You might have a sale or promotion or whatever it is planned for a month from now, and it might get scrapped or it might get switched or whatever it is. You just need to, calm down and let it happen. Your calendar needs to be in sync with your sales and inventory levels. You really don't want to be promoting out of stock items because that's a surefire way to lose trust. And you're going to deviate from what you planned out. The goal is just to avoid this when possible, but expect it to happen and really balance rigidity and flexibility. Now, on to the team. A killer email campaign is a group project and everyone has a part to play. From the founder to the designer to the copywriter to the Klaviyo tech, everyone needs to be in sync. So understanding your product cycle. So as we said before, you need to typically know your stock levels like the back of your hand. When something's running low, you'll switch gears on your email campaigns. You'll focus more on value-based emails that engage and educate rather than pushing for the sale of something if it's going to be completely out of stock. Which really leads me to another very important point, which is sales versus value-based emails. It's a huge balancing act between the two. Too many sales emails and you're going to risk burning out your list, and too many value-based emails with not enough calls to action and your revenue is going to drop. We typically like to go 70% value and 30% sales. But again, that doesn't mean that you can't provide value and sell in the same email. So something that's great here is really just soft calls to action. You can put at the bottom of the email, hey, here's what we got going on. Here's why it's a great fit for you right now. If you're interested, purchase here. Not pushy at all. And you don't even need discounts with those. Last but not least, be flexible and adapt to your market trends. So again, if a product's flying off the shelves, don't be afraid to pivot. Update that email calendar and ride the wave. Send more emails about that product. Really ride that wave while it's hot. And there we have it, folks. A well-planned email calendar and cohesive team are your secret weapons for crushing it with your email marketing campaigns. All right, next up is your offer and timing. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes of your email marketing campaigns. And trust me, once you get these two right, you're already halfway to the finish line. So first up, your offer is not just a discount that the buyer is getting. It's going to be the answer to the question, why should I not keep scrolling? Maybe your offer is a discount. Yeah, sure, that's a great idea. However, maybe it's something funny or valuable or shareable that they're going to get instead. It doesn't have to be just eroding your margins with discounts. It's really the linchpin that holds your entire email marketing strategy together, because every customer is asking, what is in this email for me? Your offer needs to answer this question so clearly at the very top of the email, right when they open it, that even a fifth grader can understand it straight away. Because here's the deal. You don't want to just serve up the same old discounts every other brand is doing. Really, you want to think variety is the spice of life. So mix in some new offers you've never tried before, keep them guessing, and they're going to be coming back for more. Now, diving in a little bit deeper into monetary versus value-based offers. Yeah, everyone loves a discount. However, do not underestimate the power of value-based offers. Think about offering your customers an ebook, a how-to guide, or even a killer Spotify playlist. Yeah, I've actually seen brands curate Spotify playlists that they know their subscribers would love, and the whole goal of the email is just to send them a link to that playlist. It's not going to drive a ton of sales, of course, but it's legitimate value. It keeps people on the list. It really makes you stand out from everybody else just sending promotions and pictures of their products, and people really enjoy things like that. So you want to make sure your offers are extremely shareable. This is something that almost no brand is really crushing right now. You want to create offers that are so good people cannot help but hit that share button and send it to their friends. Basically, it could be a bunch of facts, a well-curated playlist, a link to a funny video, add some GIFs in there, make it fresh, really nail your copywriting and think outside the box. And when you say, do have a 25% discount, don't beat around the bush, don't bury it in the email. You want to say it very clearly at the top in that hero section, in the header. If it's a buy one, get one free deal, say it. Clarity is really your best friend here. I'm going to go ahead and put some example offers on the screen here just to get you started. And last but not least, urgency and conditions. So you want to make sure it's very clear when the offer starts and when it ends if you're doing a discount. You want to add a countdown timer for urgency. Really, it's really something great that helps drive action if that's your goal. And there you have it. Master your offers and nail your timing, and you're going to be skyrocketing your email campaign revenue. All right, let's talk design. This is really what's going to make your emails pop. And if you're serious about your brand, you better be serious about how your brand is presented in every single aspect. If you screw this up, you're going to completely devalue your brand without you even knowing it. So this is especially important for brands that are visual, like jewelry and apparel. You really want to go heavy on the images. So, no matter what you're selling though, the design quality needs to be absolutely top notch, no compromises. First impressions matter. So make sure to put your hero image, offer, and call to action all within that first fold of the email. That's what people see before they even think about scrolling. The reason is people are just not scrolling through these emails. Keep your elements, your main elements front and center, and that's going to significantly boost your conversion rates. And you also want to use a single call to action throughout the entire email. You really want to focus on one key area you're driving traffic to, so your audience is not confused at all on what to do next. There's a whole purpose of these emails, and it's just to go to one single place. I cannot stress this enough. I see so many brands with all these different CTAs leading people in all different directions and wondering why they're not converting on one of them. All right, so onto the header and footer. You want to keep your header simple. Just your logo is what we typically like to do. You don't want any links to categories or anything else, because as I said, there's one place you want to drive traffic to, and it's not your different category pages. It's your one CTA throughout the entire thing. And with the footer, our team really likes to ditch the social media icons, drive the maximum amount of conversions to that, again, one single thing that you're trying to promote. So just keep the focus on your offer. We can go ahead and add some flair with some tasteful GIFs. These really add a dynamic touch to your emails, but remember, balance is key here, and the visuals are going to be great, but we want them, again, focused on selling the click to your website. As I said, I'm going to repeat it again, selling the click to your website, one single CTA, crucial. Now we're going to get technical for a second. Your emails need to look good on all different devices, not just the latest iPhone 15 Pro Max with a massive screen. They need to look good on all the different phones, because everybody's opening things on their phones nowadays. You want to make elements like CTAs and price tags big and bold so they're easily clickable on all different mobile devices. So make sure, send that email to yourself on your phone, make sure it looks good, and you don't have to scroll in to see the price tag. People don't like that. Last but not least, don't stick with one style. Mix it up with some plain text emails and some design heavy ones to really keep your audience on their toes. And take inspiration from other brands and add your unique spin. Personally, my favorite site is called mills.com. It's basically a giant archive of all the biggest brands' emails. It's great to go in there, create a swipe file for yourself, and really craft them like a pro. And that was it. That was a crash course in email design that will have your campaigns looking amazing. All right, let's dive into the art of copywriting. Now, do not sleep on copywriting. I know a lot of people do, and with a killer design, that's gonna grab their attention, but the words are really gonna do the heavy lifting. This is especially true for products that solve specific acute problems in people's lives. So say, for example, two different cases here. One case, you're selling candy, for example. There's no really huge need to dial in your copy because everyone likes candy. Your emails are gonna sell the candy. It's a low ticket item. But say if you're selling an expensive supplement that solves a very hyper specific problem to a niche audience, you really wanna dive into those pain points. You really wanna get those zero-time buyers to long-term loyal customers by copywriting and being extremely specific to get them to convert down that customer journey. So let's dive a little bit deeper into it. A couple points here: emotional leverage. You want to hit those emotional triggers that focus on urgency, scarcity, and pain points. Oftentimes it's going to be a little bit negative depending on what you're targeting here. And so you might want to be talking more about the rain versus the sunny side of life, and really, that pain, that urgency is going to get people to move and convert. So you got to tap into the pain point sometimes and show how people can solve those pain points with your products. You can also add in countdown timers to add in scarcity and really light a fire under your audience. Now, one thing here, talking transparency and scarcity when it comes to stock. So if you're running low on stock, you want to make that very clear. You want to send emails about this. This creates legitimate urgency. Like, it's not some fake scarcity. It's not some fake urgency. It's like we're literally running out of stock here. You actually need to buy now. This is not a joke. That's pretty much the messaging you want to go there. And you can also add in a quick SMS reminder to kind of add that extra layer of, hey, if you want this product, like, I know it's going to help you, you better act now. Another point here, the copywriter and designer, they got to be besties here. The copywriter really works in tandem with the designer and offers a second set of eyes in suggesting improvements to the design. So they should really work well together and always be on the same page. With our team, at least, the copywriters, they're not just wordsmiths. They're honestly overall email marketing strategists. They really plan the structure and the flow of the email. They create the campaign calendar, and they should know everything that's going on. They need to know the basics of really writing banger emails, and that is, for us, one main goal and CTA per email, keeping it short and keeping the offer in that hero header as soon as someone opens the email. They need to know about all of these things, not just wordsmithing. Now, for a couple extra elements, storytelling and emotional appeal is really going to connect you with your audience on a deeper level. So I highly recommend you include those. And you want to include the benefits of your product. So why does the customer, what's in it for them really, rather than just focusing on features. Include that, as well as social proof to really build trust. Add some customer reviews, some testimonials, send some videos of that. Great way to connect on a deeper level. Last but not least, talking language and tone. The way you communicate should really vary depending on your audience. So, window shoppers versus first-time buyers versus VIPs, it's going to be a little bit different. So you want to change it up. But overall, the one thing that I tell my copywriters is your language needs to be readable by a 5th to an 8th grader. Make it very clear and concise. Finally here, when it comes to subject lines, make them pop. Really, add a little bit of uniqueness, add a little bit of scarcity if you need to, and open a loop in your customers' minds. Ask a question, make it intriguing, make it something that's gonna stand out, and keep it short as well. You really want them to be kind of like a movie trailer, getting them hyped up for what's inside, and you wanna tailor them to each segment just for better engagement. Split testing is great on these subject lines, another thing we really like to employ there. All right, that was a quick but comprehensive guide to mastering copywriting to really make your email campaigns print more revenue. All right, let's talk about something that can absolutely make or break your email marketing game, and that is segmentation. Basically, sending a killer email to the wrong audience is like airballing a three-pointer. So listen up here, folks. It's gonna be a balancing act, and it's gonna depend on how big your list is and how much time you actually wanna put into segmentation. Basically, it's a huge ROI calculation. Is it worth it for you to spend more time, resources, money, all that into more emails that are a lot more segmented and a lot more targeted? Or would you rather go broad, send less emails just to a broader audience and really focus on volume? So in general, if you have a list size that's smaller, like 20,000, you want to go broad. You want to just focus on getting that volume up. It's not going to be a huge ROI for you to send out 5 different variations of each campaign. However, if you have a list size of say 100,000 or more, and you have a high AOV, you want to go a little bit more segmented. So really, bigger brands, you have that luxury of getting fancy by segmenting based on product categories or engagement tiers. And smaller brands, you really want to focus on maybe just one segment like your 90-day engaged. Generally, we like to go a little bit broader and focus on getting the volume of emails up and keeping them really, really short. But you got to remember, different goals are going to require different strategies. So whether it's a first purchase, a second purchase, or a 12th purchase, each one is going to have its own playbook for those bigger brands. For these bigger brands, we're going to want to split it up into VIPs, repeat buyers, first-time buyers, and then people who are just window shopping and haven't bought yet. You want to run different variations of your email to these different segments. Again, it's the same base email, but you're splitting up the copy and the messaging just based on who you're actually targeting it to. It's going to be a little bit of sauce that you're going to add with personalization. So go ahead, add their names in there, use information that you know about the recipient, like their purchase history, product preferences, gender, location, all these great data points. You really want to make the email feel like you're actually talking to the other human at the end of the line. You really are doing that, and it should be very clear in your tone of the emails. This tone and frequency of your emails should be in sync with the segment that you're targeting to. And that's really, a quick but thorough guide to segmentation there. All right, now let's dive into the number one most overlooked part of adding revenue with email campaigns, which is simultaneously the most essential and most crucial part of all of this, and that is post-send analysis. A lot of people don't do this. However, it is absolutely essential that you nail this. Kind of funny how this works. Anyways, what you see is that what you're not measuring, you cannot improve. So a data-driven approach is absolutely non-negotiable. You don't want to look at just your most recent campaigns. You really want to dig into your brand's history to see what emails killed it during this specific time of the year. What we want to do is not compare your July 4th promo emails to value-based emails sent in September. You really want to compare apples to apples. You want to look at what emails performed during this specific month. That's really what we like to do. And you got to remember though, data is great, but it's not going to tell the entire story. You got to mix in both qualitative and quantitative insights to get that 360-degree view of your campaign performance. And when it comes to split tests, you really want to focus on the ones that actually are going to move the needle. So you want to look at the big things that go into the campaign, not like what color the logo is or the font or things like that. You want to look at the offer, the positioning, the calls to action, and the structure of your emails. And you got to remember, what's going to work for one brand might be a total flop for the other. So really look at what your brand in particular is crushing it with. Now, talking tools here, honestly, Google Sheets, Excel are going to be your best friends for basic tracking and analysis. But if you want to get into the big leagues, you can use more advanced tools with machine learning and AI to really look at those deeper insights and help you hit your KPIs. Finally here, speaking of KPIs, you gotta set very clear benchmarks before you start sending your campaigns. You gotta know what you're aiming for, whether you're looking for strictly conversions of the product or which products you're looking for conversions on, or if you're just going for engagement, driving people to a newsletter or podcast, whatever the case may be, you really wanna use these KPIs to continually refine and improve your strategies. And that was it. That was really the lowdown on the post-send analysis. All right, folks, let's wrap this up. We covered a lot of ground, so let's do a quick recap of the core areas that are gonna make your email campaigns a smashing success. First up is offer and timing. Really, your offer is the linchpin of your campaign, and timing is your best friend. So mix up those offers, add discounts, value adds, nice mix of both, you name it, and dial in your campaign calendar as well. Next up, design. Your emails have to look good to do good. So keep those hero images, offers, and CTAs front and center right in the hero header of your email, and do not skimp on quality. On to copywriting, your words are really what is doing the selling here. So use emotional triggers like urgency, pain points, things like that to get people to act. And remember that a good copywriter is also a good strategist. Then we got segmentation here. One size simply does not fit all. So tailor those emails to your audience segments if it makes sense, if your brand is big enough, whether they're VIPs, first-time buyers, whatever it is, and add in some personalization as the cherry on top. And last but not least, post-send analysis. If you're not measuring, you're simply just playing around. So like, what are you doing? Use metrics to gauge your success and use advanced tools to really go deeper and hit those KPIs. And that was a wrap, guys. Just a quick reminder here, if you're running an e-commerce brand, if you're running the marketing for an e-commerce brand and you want to help add 20 to 50% to your MRR without relying on agencies that simply overpromise and underdeliver, check out our website to get a custom game plan to help you do so, 100% free of charge. It's going to be the first link in the description. And now that you know how to skyrocket your e-com brand's email campaign revenue, you're going to want to learn how to best use Klaviyo. It's the #1 email marketing software out there. So go ahead and watch this video that I'm going to link here and in the description. And finally, make sure to subscribe. You want to make sure to subscribe just to learn more about how to scale your e-com brand's retention, marketing, revenue. That's it. We'll see you in the next one.